Okay, welcome my fellow teachers. I'm talking to you today about collaborative leadership frameworks that we would like to implement into our teacher leadership today. The top three here are professional learning communities, communities of practice, and critical friends groups. So first, let's talk about the professional learning community. Professional learning community is defined by their collaborative inquiry process, which we'll be looking at more later. There is a very strong focus and driven purpose so that we are trying to get something done here. It's oriented towards an action. It is related to teachers' work specifically and to student work specifically. So we're striving to figure out how to improve student work and how to improve teachers' work. It's shared in everything of vision, value, and leadership. So no one person is in charge in a PLC or a professional learning community. Successful PLCs are going to be defined by having the inquiry cycle, which can be defined many different ways, but here we have it defined as you start with a focus, then you implement the focus, you collect research or data from that, and then you analyze the data, and that's going to create a new focus for you, which will then be implemented and analyzed and so on. So that with a good inquiry cycle, you can keep a PLC strong in your community of teachers. There's going to be deep conversation involved, not surface level discussions, but we're actually going to go into the hard questions, and everything is gone at with a approach of we want to improve on what we're doing. So a very positive learning community. Next, we look at the communities of practice, and these are defined by their shared common interest. Mainly, one of the main concepts of a community of practice is that those who come together are coming together with the reason that they have an interest in what's happening or what's being discussed or what the community here wants to learn more about or implement into the classroom. It's an open group, so you are learning from each other and you are sharing all your resources with each other. It's all knitted together in that way that really gives teachers the opportunity to come forth in a group that they're interested in and they want to share everything in. Next, we have the critical friends group. And from my findings, a critical friends group is going to be led by somebody who has been trained as a facilitator of the group, and specifically they'll be trained in whatever concept that the group is trying to understand or master. There are some protocols that you can follow. The protocols vary, but they can have 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps to how we look at teachers' work or student work or dilemmas or even textbooks or resources that we'll be using. So the main difference with this group versus the other group is that this group is led by somebody who's in charge, and that person will then facilitate discussion, give evidence for their perspective or teaching of concept, and then find get responses and feedback from the fellow staff members. So when we look at this in terms of our desire to build, when we look in this in terms of our desire, okay, now it's not working. Just a minute, please. There we go. As we look at this, in our desire to build a cohesive staff amongst our school, I decided to go and break down the three and try to find the strong points for us in these three communities so that we could come to our conclusion on what we think would be the best for our school. So in professional learning communities, we see that it gives us good structure, gives us something to follow, a plan, the focus, inquiry cycle, and we know that each meeting is going to have a purpose to it, and excuse me, there will be a goal for each meeting that we'll strive towards, and it'll be open, and but we'll have that structure to it. Whereas in a community of practice, there will be less structure but more of a common interest, trying to draw teachers in at our school that have an interest in being a part of that and in the resources that will be presented. We are going to be able to share our common experiences and resources and whatever we've learned about to help bring the staff together. And then the critical friends group is the one that would follow specific protocols and would have that leader. And so that would be a decent one if we had somebody who wanted to step up as the leader of the group and actually kind of take over and direct where we're going. But if that's not the case, then I feel like one of the first two is probably going to be a better fit for our purpose of making a cohesive staff. Because there's definitely a lot of who don't want to just be led by somebody. So that's my presentation. Okay, so then after discussion, we, as a staff, it's wrong direction. We as a staff came up with a choice, and our choice was that we would like to try out a community of practice. We like both the professional learning community and the community of practice, but the community of practice, since we're trying to build a cohesive staff, we thought that starting with the community of practice would be good, in that it's brings a common interest and it's open for people to share. And since we already have this focus going of trying to get a technology meeting that allows people to come with their technology that they've learned to use in the classroom that they would like to share. We feel like this is a good start, and having it a community of practice where there's not just one person leading it, but it actually is open to everybody sharing. We felt that that would be the best spot to start this year, and not to have the rigor of the inquiry process from the other learning communities. And here are my references. Thank you.